fair skies on Sunday and Monday, and on Tuesday, expect a chance of rain.
It's 10 minutes before the top of the hour and time for the Tropical Update. I'm Carl Parker.
And I'm Christina Abernathy. And of course, getting over Isabel, which is now moved northward, and that's thankfully so.
Yeah, just a shell of its former self now, just a little area of low pressure up in Canada. But boy, did it cause some serious problems, and folks are still without electricity today.
That's right. Residents all over the east are cleaning up today after Isabel. Last night, millions of people were left without electricity because of the storm. A major reason for those outages were trees falling onto power lines. And now with your tropical update, here's Carl.
And we can take a look at Isabel when it was a Cat 5, a very, very well-formed storm, just about as well-formed as you will ever see. Very clearly defined eye here. And then as it worked westward, it started to encounter some westerly shear, and some drier air was brought into the system, and then suddenly it got much weaker, which of course is very, very good news. If a Cat 5 had moved into North Carolina, we'd be talking about a catastrophe. It was very, very bad as it was, but it could have been much, much worse. So there certainly is some good news in this situation. Let's talk about some of the winds as the storm came on shore. Sustained winds here in the left side in this column. Ocracoke Island, 80 miles an hour, gusting to 105 miles an hour. Frying Pan Shoals, 70 mile an hour sustained winds. Cape Lookout gusting to 89 miles an hour. And Ocean City, Maryland, gusted to 52 miles an hour. We actually did see quite a bit of wind farther inland because of the gradient, the difference in pressure between the hurricane moving on in and high pressure off to the north here. So a lot of folks without power even today in parts of Maryland and Virginia. And as you can see, it's still windy across parts of New York and Pennsylvania and back into the lakes as well. There's a front approaching in the lakes as we speak. Let's talk about some of the rainfall totals here, and they have been very high in some spots, but as far as hurricanes go, this is really not that much rain. The storm was moving quickly, which was very, very good news. When they're very slow-moving storms, they produce tremendous amounts of rain, and that did not happen here. 6.65, yeah, that's a lot of rain, and we certainly did see some isolated flooding. And as we go down through the list, 4 inches, 3 inches, but we would be talking about 10, 12, maybe 15 inches of rain if the storm had been a slow-moving storm. And there's the rain right now, light and moderate showers into parts of New York and down into Pennsylvania, lifting along towards the north and towards the east. We are concerned about the possibility of river flooding in parts of Maryland and Virginia and also into Pennsylvania, so we'll have to watch for that very, very carefully. Well, let's talk about what's happening through the rest of the Atlantic Basin, and I'll tell you, we may not see any more Cape Verde storms, as we call them. The Cape Verde season usually extends out through the middle of the season till about now, and as you can see, right in here, we've got a fair amount of wind, a fair amount of shear. There is a little bit of disturbed weather coming offshore, but the winds are not light. They're really racing along through these areas here, and for that reason, the environment is hostile, and so we just don't think that we will see the storms developing in that area. At this time of the year, we start to turn our attention to the Caribbean and the Gulf, and things are pretty quiet in both of those areas right now. We do have some disturbed weather along the western side of the Gulf. And right there is a brand new tropical storm. That is Tropical Storm Marty. The wind's 45 miles an hour. That is, by the way, the southwest coast of Mexico, moving towards the west-northwest at 7.
Well, there's much more to come on the second hour of Weather Center.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after your local on the 8s.
This is an American Red Cross Action Alert. Victims of the recent hurricane need help immediately. The Red Cross is on the scene with emergency shelter, food, and counseling. Your help is urgently needed. Call 1-800-HELP-NOW immediately or visit redcross.org. Your contribution provides vital services to disaster victims across the country.
More than $1 billion in damage and leaving millions without power. Tonight, Isabel moved